Brennan from Grimdark Australia here, and welcome back to another quick tutorial. Today we're going to be going over an Ultramarines colour recipe, and we'll be using our 4th company captain Uriel Ventris as our model. So we're going to be doing something similar that we did in the Dark Angels. We're going to be using our black primer and keeping it in the recesses and the shadowed areas, and then we're going to be coming around and spraying approximately 80% of the model with our first base colour, which in this case is going to be Vallejo's Imperial Blue. So as you see, I make my way around the model. This is going to be a zenithulish approach, but again, we're trying to spray about 80% of the model. So once you've got that done, guys, we're going to be coming in with our first highlight layer, which is going to be Vallejo's Magic Blue. Now we're going to again enforce our zenithal approach and focus on areas where light would be hitting the most. So this part we're looking towards the top of the shoulder pads, down on the bottom half of the thigh plates, and down towards the bottom half of the shins there underneath the sword, just those sorts of areas. Now we're going to come in with our final highlighting colour, which is going to be Vallejo's Electric Blue. Now this we're just going to hit the very top spots of where light would hit, so the very tops of the shoulder pads, the tops of the backpacks and things like that. Now with this you can see I'm going pretty bright with this, and this is generally because when we come through and do our unifying washes, it's going to knock back those colours quite a bit and darken everything down quite a lot. So don't be too concerned if you feel like you're going a little bit too bright, but yeah, our unifying washes are going to knock this right down. So at around this point, once you've got your armor basically mapped out, we're going to come through and start basing out our other colors. Now for the cloak, I'm going to go through and start this with a Vallejo dark green, and then we're going to build that up with another paint called Reaper's Brilliant Green. However, you could use something like Citadel's Warpstone Glow, I believe it's called. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But that'll give you a similar transition from those dark to lights with this cloak. Now with the dark green, just base it out all over, and then we'll come back in with the airbrush and we'll just do a few soft highlights with that brilliant green. So now we're going to take our airbrush and we're going to load it up with our brilliant green or your warpstone glow or any other sort of brighter colored green. You could opt to change the color that you use ultimately for a highlight. It just depends on the tone you want, whether you want more yellows or more blues in that green. But when you come through, just soft highlights with it. Aim towards the ends and on the like the bridged parts of the cloak, and just maintain your trigger control. Don't stress too much if you get a little bit of overlap. I've gone ahead and based out a few other colors just to get an idea of where I was going with it and what color tones I wanted, but I'll actually go through and clean those back up after I've finished airbrushing. So now you can see I've spilt a little bit onto the blue power armor, so I'll just take a wet brush loaded up with water and I'll start pulling that away straight away. You won't get all of it, but you'll be able to get the majority of it. Now it was about this point that I determined that I'd gone a little bit too bright regarding what I'd said before, so I actually went through with a little bit of Citadel's Drakenhof Nightshade and just reinforced some of those shadowed areas. With this, all you want to do is you just want to focus that shade into those darker areas wherever light would struggle to find the plates. And then after that, we come back in with some Vallejo's Electric Blue just to highlight that back up again and be a little bit more selective with a little bit of better trigger control. I've had a lot of compressor and airbrush problems the last couple of weeks. It's been very annoying, but I believe we're finally getting to the end of that stage now. So once you've got your power armor to a stage where you're happy with it, we're going to take a sponge and a pair of tweezers and we're going to take our brightest color, which is our electric blue, and we're going to do our dabbing technique to apply some chipping around the armor. Now, what I've done here is I've left too much paint on the sponge, and this is exactly what it'll look like. It'll come on too thick. So make sure you wipe some of that off when you put it on. The right consistency for this is you almost want to approach this like a dry brushing. You want to probably take off maybe say 85-90% of the paint and only have that small amount on there for when you're dabbing on there. Otherwise you end up with too much paint and it just kind of splooshes everywhere. So once you're happy with that, you can come back in if you want with a small brush and just add in a few little finer details of that chipping and scratching if you like. Just pick a few random select areas and just be slow as you go through with it. Just don't do it like me right now after a big night out and splooge the paint everywhere. So once you've done all your chipping and you've given that an appropriate amount of time to cure, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes should be fine, or you can leave it overnight, we're now going to base out the rest of our colours and then come through with our unifying wash. So in previous videos we've prioritised an oil wash by Abtalung 502. This time, just for ease's sake, I'm going to be using AK Interactive's dark brown wash for green vehicles. Now we're just going to apply that all over the model. We're being pretty liberal with it. You can do one coat, or you could do like we've done with our Death Guard video and do multiple coats to really build up that grime and dirt. But we're just going to do one coat for this time, and we're going to go around and apply that all over the model, over all the colours. Once you've done that, you can leave it to dry overnight. I usually just hit it with a blow dryer to cure up that enamel a little bit quicker. And then we're going to come through with a Q-tip and some mineral white spirits, and we're just going to start dabbing away at the power armor. Now with this, we're trying to hit the brighter spots of our blues, leaving the mineral spirits to carry the enamel paint down towards the shadowed areas, and it's going to give us a smoother transition and help unify the colors together. So you can see here, I'm just mainly dabbing on the outermost parts of the capes, anywhere where the bridges are higher, and just trying to reveal those areas where we put our brilliant green down. So once that's all dried up, guys, and you're happy with where your unifying wash is sitting at, we're now going to come in with my favorite color, which is Molotow liquid chrome, and we're going to finish off our chipping. So we're aiming to just put this in the center of any of those large light blue chips that we placed previously. Alternatively, you could come in with, say, a dark brown color inside the center of the blue chips, and then a very, very tiny metal chip. But I just want to get this guy done, get him on the tabletop, and start deploying him across the battlefield. So I'm just coming straight in with some Molotow liquid chrome, and we're just going to put that straight on. So now, unfortunately, my camera had a few mishaps while I was filming the actual face. But what I do want to show you is how I do the stubble and the fade up the side of the head. All I did was I just got a sharp knife and I just shaved down that stupid bowl haircut that they gave Uriel, and then I've just come in with a really thinned down Nuln oil, so probably about 4 parts water to 1 part Nuln oil, and I'm just laying that straight over anywhere where I want that stubble to be. So when you do this, guys, once it dries out, you can come in with a second coat if you wish to try and darken up that stubble, but one coat generally tends to do. Now, when you do the hairline, make sure you map out your sideburns and the part where the hair sort of curves around to the temples, and you'll have them looking pretty schmick with these short back and sides. So after you finish the head, guys, we're just going to super glue them to the body and get the captain out onto the battlefield commanding our forces. After that's going to be the model done. So I hope this tutorial was beneficial for you in learning a little bit more about the Ultramarines color recipe that I use. I will have some more in-depth stuff over basing and coloring power armors on my new Patreon, hint hint, which is down in the description below for you to look at. Thanks guys for joining us on another tutorial. If there's anything that you want to see on the channel, can you please leave a comment for me and let me know what models that you're looking forward to seeing, so that way I know and I can try and deliver that to you guys. Thanks for joining. Like, share and subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.